Hello, my name's Harryreardon and welcome to the Sunday Spar. Okay, so it's a bit more of a informal, relaxed version as opposed to normal. We're going to do a bit films, fighting, fitness, we're going to do a bit of everything. Uh, firstly, I want to talk. I have to say it, I'd be the worst person if I didn't mention it, but it is coming home. We went down last night. I was trying to find, so we got a local pub, which is 30 seconds walk from the house. And what is going on with you? There we go. I went down before the game started because I just wanted to know. Selling tickets. What's all this about? Since when did pubs start selling tickets? Like, to just go in. I threw a real tantrum because you got like the bouncer who's built like a flagpole, and I was like, well, tickets. I was like, all right, well, let me buy a ticket. No, you can't. But also, this is the biggest event all over. It's the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Everyone all over the country is coming together. And I just couldn't believe it. The amount of places we went to, couldn't get in. Eventually found somewhere, and they were the best. They were just packing everyone in like sardines. Took me 25 minutes to get a drink from the bar. And it was the best atmosphere. It was incredible. I mean, yeah, you're all smushed in. They made it work. They were working double time. Fair play to them guys. But could not believe it. I used to go to that place. I like going there. I'm writing another book, so I always go up. I get a lemonade or a non-alcoholic beer, and I always get something for the bar staff. I always go like for however many is behind the bar. I always get get a drink for everyone, and then I get to just sit and just chill. And I don't know, it's really thrown me off that like places do that now. The sense of, because on one hand, people complain the pubs are dying, and that, and beers are now, it's £10 if you want a pint in certain places, and they're like, we can't afford to survive. But then on the other hand, they're like, by the way, we're just gonna cap it at 5. Because I had a look through, I was like, there's no one in there. It doesn't matter. I'm throwing a tantrum. Either way, it's coming home, and fuck them guys. Look, it's a pointless rant. I get it. I do understand, and I get it. They're like, it annoyed me. The sense of community is going away, and it's also gross in here. It's like a furnace. You got to bear with me a little bit, but it's that sense of community is going, and then people will do that and then complain the pubs are dying. But it's like you're the one kicking the rock and then complaining that your feet hurt. And I've never understood that mentality. I spent 10 years in restaurants as a chef, and we in one place where £30+ for a steak, but they paid. I mean, I asked for. I remember I worked there 4 or 5 years. I worked my way out from pot wash to, I want to say sous chef, but not really. I just did everything, and I asked for a pay rise because I was still on minimum wage. I mean, I was on £3 something for the longest time. And the guy said, without considerable price increases and all stocks and profits, it's not affordable. I'll never forget that. It's been over 10 years. I'll never forget that. And it's like, you're charging £30+ for a steak. It's £10 for a pint. I'm on £3 an hour, £4 an hour. I think at that point, it was tragic, absolutely tragic. So when I ended up packing up, so look, I can't survive on this. And as I'm leaving, they're like, we think it's because of the money. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I was more passionate about cooking and being a chef than I think anything for the longest time. But at the same time, you need to be able to survive. But yeah, it's a little tangent. Moving on, the UFC, Conor McGregor was back, but Paddy Pimblett is the highlight. I mean, the dude came out, Benoit Saint-Denis, that's a bad dude, and made it look easy. Paddy, look, I know he lost his last fight. He's the only person who can lose and gain more following at the same time. UFC fans aren't the same as boxing. Boxers, they take a loss They sort of... No, I'm wrong. I'm backwards. I am so backwards. Boxing. It is. What am I doing? I'm running on 4 hours sleep. I finished the UFC at like... Time did that finish? 4 in the morning. Got up for the dog at 7, 8. Took her for a walk, and so I'm running on fumes. I'm completely backwards. It's UFC. You can lose and you can come back stronger. And Paddy has done that. And he said in the post-fight interview that they keep moving the goalpost. But I do hope that nobody says that this time, because Benoit Saint-Denis is a tough fight. I mean, the undercard was great. Bobby Green, King Green now, also smashed it. Conor McGregor, he's got to be done, right? I mean, he brought so many people, and he's still the biggest draw. But at this point, and it made me sad to watch. And this sort of thing happens. He's had so much time out that it was sad. It was really, really sad to watch. I can't imagine how he's feeling, obviously. But I was thinking about this because Dana White has Zuffa now. Conor McGregor can box, and with his legs being what they are, it might be better for him to transition over to boxing. It will bring so much. Like, I mean, if you want to start out the gate your own boxing promotion and you start with Conor McGregor, I mean, that's not a bad way to go in the slightest, really, when you think about it. But yeah, it was just sad. But I hope to see him do something. Not the Jake Paul fight. It's too much of a weight discrepancy, and he doesn't benefit from it. The Mayweather fight, I get it, kind of. I wish he hadn't and stayed fighting in the UFC, but obviously got paid, which is great. But yeah, I don't want to see him do the Jake Paul fight. I have no interest in seeing Jake Paul fight again. I'll be honest, short of... I mean, Eddie Hall was talking about fighting Jake Paul and Logan Paul 2-on-1 in MMA, which is a bad idea. I love Eddie Hall. I really love Eddie Hall. Wish he'd respond to my emails. You know, keep climbing up the side of his house and he keeps shooing me away with a broom. But the guy's fantastic, but fighting the brothers 2-on-1 is a bad idea. I mean, Jake Paul can strike. Let's be honest. The dude can hit. With Logan Paul being, what's he, Division 1 wrestler? I mean, you've seen the video of him, Paulo Costa. I mean, bad idea. He's not making it out of that. And I say that as an Eddie Hall fan. But yeah, I don't know about seeing Eddie Hall fight again. I don't know who he's going to go for. Jack Doherty would be a good one, just because I want to see Jack Doherty get absolutely pasted, and he won't respond to any of my... I keep calling him out, keep tagging Misfits. They're not having none of it. I don't have the bigger following, I guess, which is fine. You say that, I was watching Misfits' last event, and I've got more subscribers than a few of them guys, and it doesn't really matter, but if I'm going to do anything with this channel, it's going to be fighting that guy. And then I can retire happily. I wouldn't. I love doing this. This is fun. And the best part is the viewership is so low, we can kind of get away with mixing things up and doing all sorts. I've been posting fitness content. I've been posting gaming content. It doesn't really matter. It's just been a big old bit of fun, really. All right. I want to talk about Evil Dead Burn as well, because I love the Evil Dead franchise. And the Evil Dead franchise, so Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell came out and said, we need to move away from relying the franchise on one person. But Ash vs. Evil Dead was so good. And it since 1980, it has been Bruce Campbell. So it does feel... The franchise feels bleak without him. It does. I know they've taken this darker tone, but in keeping some of the, obviously, like keeping and expanding on the lore from the original films is great, and they do that in this. Talking about the wise men, which obviously goes right back to the original film. The entire premise of this is, so we've got, I'm gonna butcher her name. I'm so sorry. Bear with me, because so Sohelia Jacob, so plays Alice. Her husband dies. She goes to the family, to the funeral. Family's there. The family is their descendants from the wise men. And there are things in the house that the Deadites need. Cue carnage, cue destruction. This is the film that Lee Cronin's The Mummy wishes it was. I mean, he said that the Mummy was going to be like uber gross. It was going to be visceral. This film was so much more. This is the first film I've ever seen a stab wound look like a real stab wound, which is a weird thing to say. But in films, they're always these over the top. It's like a giant hole in in this, somebody, and it's like a thin sliver, almost like a paper cut. And it's the way that the effects, every single hit, cut, stab, maim, burn, everything feels so much more real, and it also feels tense. The humor's not the same as it has been. There is a post and mid-credit scene as well, which I did find interesting, because I was confused. So they want to move away from the Raimi-isms, or not necessarily. They still keep the camera angles. It feels like a they're pulling out all the tricks, Dutch tilts, dollies, like everything is moving. It's still in keeping with that original Sam Raimi feel, minus the humor. But they do expand on the lore, which makes me wonder where they're going with this franchise without Ash, because he was the anchor, whether you're talking about the series, the original films, Fistful of Boomstick, the game's fantastic. I do wonder on what we're doing going forward, because I feel like you need that anchor. Scream has Sydney, Halloween has Jamie Lee Curtis, Jason doesn't have anyone because Jason's crazy. And yeah, I understand eventually you're going to have to move on from the characters, but I do want to know what they're doing, because they do make a point of expanding or bringing back a lot of these elements. And I know we're getting the Evil Dead Ash animated series, which I'm super excited for, because that's going to somewhat follow on from the TV series. And these are obviously taking a darker turn. Although, side note, I do think that the Evil Dead franchise, especially with the Deadites being what they are now, is probably the only horror franchise or character that Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural are not surviving. They're not making it out. Watched Obsession, fantastic. They did that in one episode. Backrooms wouldn't even faze them. Jason, Freddy, all of these, easy, light work, right? The Mummy film, they'd wrap that up right quick. But this, they were getting messed up. Big time getting messed up. I loved this film. I thought it was great. It was, I miss slashers. I really miss slashers, like a good slasher. And this sort of gave me that vibe, but with something a little deeper, a little bit more intense. It's very Resident Evil 7 at the same time. I mean, you can see it in the trailer, the scene when they're all sitting around the dinner table and the house is all run down and gross. And it really does have that vibe. And I'm absolutely here for it. I thought it was incredible. I was going to do its own individual review, but I want to start doing these Sunday Spars a little bit more, or Films Fighting Fitness. This one is a bit less prepped as I would normally like to do, but going forward I'm going to throw in a few more bits. It's just more. Today I just sort of threw this together. I wanted to do something a little bit more casual, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more, and then we'll going forward, we'll sort of mix things up. And because there is other stuff I want to talk about as well. And I want to be able to open up for discussion. And yeah, okay. But I feel like that's a safe place to leave it. I feel like that's a good place to leave it. It's also an absolute mess back here because I'm trying to sort comic books out, all of this stuff. I'm trying to sort bits, but that's a lot of money. We're getting there. Doesn't matter. We're getting there. All right, guys. Until the next one, I shall see you next Sunday. Take care.